Hello and welcome back. Welcome to day 3 of Gateway to Wonderland. I hope you've had a magical 2 days so far and are loving the journey. And I said yesterday that if you only took on board that from your journey this week, then that would be enough. That in and of itself is life-changing. But actually what I have in store for you today has the possibility to totally transform everything also. So every day there are things that have totally transformed my life. So what I'm sharing with you over these 5 days is not theory. It's not something I've learned. It's not something I've read a book about. It's something that I have experienced to a very deep depth. And then I can only teach it to you through my own experience. And we're going to be talking about experiences a little bit more tomorrow. Because today I want to introduce the concept of 2 different paths, 2 quite distinct paths, but with a lot of overlap. So we've explored what Wonderland is and what it's not. And we've also looked at emotions and that we are here to feel. Part of being human is to experience emotion, all the emotions, the full range of emotions, not just a specific type, not just quote unquote positive emotions. And today we're going to be looking at these 2 paths. So the 2 paths are the change, fix and improve path and the truth path. Now there's a lot of overlap between these 2 paths, and they do tend to get a little bit merged, and the chances are you're familiar with them both. So let me just explain what these 2 paths are. And I really see it as a place where you're coming from and your experience of life. So, and I'm going to be a bit generic just to explain the 2 paths, simply because it's easy. It's easier that way. So talking in not quite absolutes, but very distinct. This is this one path and this is a different path. And in reality, the 2 merge and there's a lot of overlap between the 2. So the change, fix and improve path is a path that I was very familiar with, and I'm sure that you're very familiar with too. And it's this concept of changing ourselves, improving ourselves, being the best version of ourselves in order to be happier, live a better life for ourselves, improve life for our families, and also to give a greater contribution to the world, so to give back more. And so we strive to be the best version of ourselves. And the idea being is that once we've learned, once we've improved and changed and things are wonderful, then we'll be living the life that we want. Now, underlying it is this idea that things will never be perfect. We'll never have the perfect life. And if we do, then we're settling, because there's always more to learn. There's always more to grow. And so if we just sit back and say, okay, I've learned it all now, then we're being complacent. And so we never want to be satisfied with where we're at, because if we are, then we're settling. And so on the change and fix and improve path, there's always going to be this driver of more. I need more in order to live the life that I want, to be truly fulfilled. And so this is why we feel this sense of frustration and like life, not wholeness. So we talked about that on Monday. So this idea that we're not whole, and that comes about because we think we need to change, fix and improve something in order to either be happy or to live a fulfilled life. And we either need to fix ourselves, So it's something internal that we need to change or fix or improve. Like we need to be more organized, or we need to be more free-flowing, or we need to get up earlier or go to bed earlier, or do more exercise, eat healthier. All these things that we think that we need to do in order to be the best version of ourselves. And so it drives this constant state of dissatisfaction. And so the truth path, however, is rather different. It's more of a spiritual path. So I said I was talking in terms of absolute. So I think of the change, fix and improve path as a personal development path, and the truth path is a spiritual path. But in reality, obviously the two do merge, and you're probably on both paths. So there's this overlap. But the truth path is much more about accepting what is, living in the now, living in the moment, and recognizing that everything's perfect. Like you are perfect, whole and complete just the way you are. And so a lot of the time it would be coming home to yourself. So like seeing the truth of what life is. Now, I said there was a lot of overlap. So the truth, like when I first started out, or not started out, but in the last few years since life has totally transformed for me, I saw the truth path as being one path. There was only one way to experience the truth, and I had it. And everybody else's experience of truth was not correct. It was quote unquote wrong, and I'm laughing and tongue in cheek, but at the time it was very frustrating for me, because I saw that I had this really special something to offer people, and that everybody needed to be here. You know, when you learn something that's so totally life transforming that you just want to share it with the world, you just want everybody to experience it, whatever that is. It could be EFT, NLP, like all of these life-changing experiences that you've had, that you just think, oh my goodness, everybody's life will be better if they had this. And during sort of the probably 12 years of transformation that I've been on, I've been a bit over the top, probably not very easy to live with, in just wanting everybody to experience what I've experienced. And the last couple of years was to recognize that everybody is on their own path, and there isn't a path that's better than the other. I am so grateful and so delighted that I'm on this path, and I'm very biased because it's totally transformed my life, and I do want everybody, not everybody else, but those people who are intrigued and want to learn more, to come on it, because it's amazing. And I see so much unhappiness and sadness and grief in the circles that I operate in, and I used to be there sort of wanting to curl up on the sofa and make the world stop, like have everything go away, finger snapping magic, wave a magic wand and have my life be magically transformed. But I've realized that not everybody it's not their role, it's not their journey to come on this path, and I have to, it's coming back to a place of recognizing that I have to show up, I have to share, I have to be fully me, and show up for the people that want to follow this path, and let those other people go. And so this is why I said the truth path is about accepting what's so. And it's really a dance with life rather than trying to control life. So the change, fix and improve path is often about taking the bull by the horns. Let's make it happen. You can do it. So it's very, even as I'm sharing it, you can see I've got into this very kind of like almost aggressive energy of, go, go, go. And the truth path is more dancing with life, more gentle, more using life as like a thermometer. I think that's as a sort of like testing out the temperature and aiming for something, not aiming for something, but going after your dreams. So it's not that your dreams aren't important or that you can't have goals or anything like that, but it's more, it's taking a step towards those goals and seeing how life responds, how your environment responds, what is the response, rather than having this fixed idea of how things should be and what things should look like. It's that dance with life. So we take a step forward, we sit back and respond, and we look to see what life desires for us, rather than how we want to control life. Because in truth, we have a lot less control than we think. There could be a disaster tomorrow that wipes everything out. We could be in a car accident, something could happen with a loved one, like anything could happen. We could win the lottery and then the driving stops, like anything could happen. And the more fluid and flexible that we can be to dance with life, the more easeful and joyful our lives are. Because instead of getting irate with that lady in the supermarket that is snooty with us, we laugh about it. Or instead of driving around with road rage, we notice how the road rage is a reflection of our own inner rage. And we heal that inner rage and the world responds. And the journey becomes about noticing what's so, rather than trying to change what is. Because our sense of frustration and unhappiness comes about because we don't like the way things are and we want it to be different. And the moment that we accept what is and are okay with it, like truly okay with it, okay. So if things aren't going so well right now, we fully embrace the not okayness. We accept what's not okay. And we go, okay, this is where I am right now, and it's a bit sucky. But that's okay. And the moment we can do that, then it allows something else to flow through. And I mean, there is that expression, what we resist persists. So this constant striving to try and change, fix and improve our lives is actually stopping us from experiencing the deep joy, the deep fulfillment, the inner peace that we actually crave. So the two paths do overlap. And so whereas the truth path is really dancing with life, looking at life and seeing and responding to life rather than trying to control it. And the change, fix and improve path is about staking your claim. However, the two paths do overlap. And how do you differentiate between them? How do you know whether you're on the truth path or the change, fix and improve path? Because actually part of life is about changing and fixing and improving things. If something is broken, we want to fix it. If we break our leg, we want to fix it. We're not going to just sit there and hope it will magically get better. And in fact, often when we start down the truth path and seeing life unfold before us, so it's this unfolding of life rather than a controlling of life, it can be very disorientating. We can feel very lost, like, where am I going? I feel rudderless. I don't know what direction I'm heading in because we're waiting for life to unfold. And I spent many months not setting intentions because that wasn't on the truth path. That was the change, fix and improve path. And I didn't want that. And so I kind of like just existed. And I did feel frustration. Like, I'll be honest with you, it wasn't that it was like all singing or dancing. I felt frustrated that I wasn't achieving anything. But as I look back, I had to let go of everything that I'd been holding on to in the past, all the lies and illusions and the whole beliefs that we take on because society tells us we need to think a certain way. Like, there's so many sayings that you need to have a goal. If you don't have a goal, you don't know where you're headed. And so I experienced the lack of not having that. And for me, those many months were navigating what was in my heart. What did I want to do? What was going to be Melina's story, Melina's journey, Melina's version of it? So it was learning the truth. And if you continue down this path and continue working with me, we'll go into it in a lot more depth about what that looks like. And it's also learning about you or me. Like, you learn about yourselves, what makes you tick, your personality, because a lot of the spiritual teachings are about getting rid of the ego, sort of getting rid of the personality. But we're here to have a human experience. We're here to enjoy life, and that is about the personality. There are things that I do, things that I share that no one else will, or people will do it in a slightly different way. And so it's getting acquainted with your desires. So if we look back at your desires, and this is your challenge for today, or your adventure for today, is to take a look at those challenges, the desires that you set, or that look what it looks like to live in Wonderland. And look and see, is it a true desire of mine, or is it something that I've taken on because it's expected of me? So let me just explain a little bit more. So I believe that very few of us, that many of us are living someone else's life. That we're following paths, we're following dreams that aren't really ours. And that it's what society expects of us. And we're conditioned, we learn this as we're growing up. It's get a good job. Now it's probably start your own business. Get a good job, be successful, like earn a good living, support your family, contribute to society. And there's certain things that look a certain way that will make us happy. And so we never actually, or we rarely go inwards and ask, what would make me truly happy? What do I really desire? And so we pick the things that we think will make us happy, because we don't really know what will make us happy, because we've spent a lifetime living like following the crowd, or following what we should have. And I've done this. I'm like so much, and I thought, like everything in my life at the moment, I think that's gone, that there are no more shoulds. And actually, when I look at it, there's another layer to it. Another layer of getting acquainted with what do I really want. And so to have a look at those desires and think, well, is this really in my heart, or is this something that I'm doing because I think this will give me success? So when we think of success, or what will make us happy, we think of the nice house, whether that's a big mansion or a little cottage in the country, or a townhouse, or a house by the sea. We've got our own versions of that. It's the holidays abroad, the sending the children to a private school, or like the nice garden, having people over, whatever it is that your desires and your dreams are, to really explore, is this true for me? Is this really what I want? And sometimes we don't really know what we want because we've not experienced it. So we have an idea that this is what we want. And actually, when we receive it, it doesn't bring us the joy and the fulfillment that we thought it would. That's why you get so many people, when they achieve their dreams at a certain age, it leaves them feeling empty. Is this it? Is this what life is? Because that isn't in their hearts. That's not what they desire. There's something else that's unique to them that will give them joy. And the fun of living in Wonderland, dancing in Wonderland, it's that exploration. It's that the going down this path and seeing if that would be exciting, if that would light us up, if that's what we want. And it's the journey and that adventure and the exploring itself that is delightful, rather than the end result. So this is how we can tell whether we're on the truth path or the change, fix and improve path. Are we doing this thing or this desire? Is this desire to achieve something? Is it the end result we want, or do we want the fun of getting there? Because if we want the fun of getting there, then we're going to enjoy every moment leading up to it. We're going to learn from it, grow from it. And so this is why you would never settle. Like, you're not settling on the truth path. You're constantly growing, constantly learning, but you're learning from a place of delight, like little children are. Little children are the happiest on the planet because they just play, but they're learning all the time they're playing. And so if we're delighting in the journey or the exploration itself, then we experience that delight, magic, Wonderland on a daily basis, rather than it's that line in the future when we get there. And have a look, maybe tap down into the deep recesses of you. It's like, what do I really want? What would light me up? And many of those things you can start to introduce today. Some of the things, like we explored the feelings. How do I want to feel? So how do I want to feel on a day-to-day basis? What are the feelings that those desires are going to give me? And there will be things that you could do today that will make you feel that way. If you want to feel stability, you could just look around your house, walk around and realize that there's floors that are stable, that are holding you securely. Check out, the four walls, like that are supporting you, and the joy that you want to experience. You might experience going out for a walk, getting out in nature. All of the things that are kind of on hold until you get there, that you can experience each and every day, which is more or less which is what living in Wonderland and dancing in Wonderland is all about. You see, each of us has been blessed with life. It is a blessing to experience life. It is a gift. I didn't appreciate that for a long time, when I basically wanted it to stop. And I was, I don't want to paint this picture of this depressed person that lived around in doom and gloom. I was Miss Positive, like have been Miss Positive all of my life, dreaming of a better future. And so the moments when I wanted it all to stop, I didn't share with anyone. I didn't tell anyone about it, because you've got to think positively. And this shift of seeing life as an adventure, seeing life as a dance, and this is all there is. This is life. Today is life. We only ever have the present moment, and appreciating that moment. But sometimes when it stinks, you're not going to appreciate it, but that's okay. We don't have to appreciate everything. We can say this sucks at the minute, and it's okay to admit life sucks, because we know that we're not going to stay there, that an hour from now things may look different, and if they're not, they're not. So I think that's pretty much all for today. Have a look at your desires and just see what it is that they want, because it could give you some great insights and yeah, just looking at things slightly differently. And so I always see my life as this beautiful unfolding story that I'm in the middle of. So when things are difficult, I know this is just part of that path. It's the same as a hero when he has a mountain to climb or some insurmountable obstacle. That's what I'm going through then. And so we can't see the full picture. We can never see the full picture when we're in it. We can only ever deal with what's so. And that's really the truth path. It's much more accepting and delighting in life. And that in and of itself is a journey to experiencing it. I didn't wake up one morning and learn this stuff and everything was perfect and hunky-dory. Not at all. It was a journey that I went on. And that's why I say, if this is a path you want to continue down, then we'll be able to explore those options later on. So that's it for today. I will be back tomorrow, and I hope you have a magical day. Bye-bye.